Most adults self-pleasure, and 20 years ago we did not talk about it so publicly. But today the sex toy industry is on the high street. Pro-porn or anti-porn is up to you, and to ejaculate or not ejaculate is a choice most men will experiment with. But whatever you're choosing, this course and self-de-armoring overall will help you feel more pleasure with less stimulation. Body de-armoring takes away our physical numbness and our blocks to pleasure, and for women this often means their blocks to orgasm. When feeling more sensation in our physical and emotional bodies, we need less mental stimulation, so less fantasies in our minds, meaning less or no pornography. We learn to enjoy mindfulness more than we enjoy escapism. For most people, self-de-armoring their genitals will also improve their orgasms and the types of orgasms that they can obtain, which relates to women more, with men gaining more choice around ejaculatory or non-ejaculatory orgasms, while also increasing their endurance. But men can also expand their orgasmic capacity to a lesser degree, and likewise for women, choosing when to save or release bodily fluids is a good thing to learn. In self-de-armoring, we decrease our pain threshold by using our breath, as already learnt, and this leads us into experiencing our body more from the parasympathetic nervous system. We move from mild pain into pleasure, into sensuality, and then back into mild pain and then pleasure again for a few rounds. Cycling through this process repeatedly helps resensitize our skin and nerve receptors so we feel more, both physically and emotionally. Sexual de-armoring and self-de-armoring are the same process when working externally, so there is nothing to add to the basics of what you've already learnt. Of course, we can go much deeper into the topic, and I do when teaching tantric work and advanced trainings. Deep residential immersions into de-armoring and sexual healing are a good thing, but the basics are simple, and from what you learn here, you can build your own practice. What I will suggest is that before you self-pleasure in the future with toys or without, or with visual images or without, that you start by giving yourself a short Kundalini bodywork session, with the main focus on self-de-armoring, on turning your physical numbness into pleasure that you spread through your body without coming into full sexual energy. The transformation from this practice may or may not be noticeable in your first few sessions, but with persistence of practice, you can transform yourself when using the correct breaths, pressure, and knowledge of where to press, when to press, and how hard to press, all combined with your willpower and the clear intention that you surrender yourself to. Working on your physical body like this will bring more emotion to your self-pleasure practice and to your life in general. If you like, you can also carefully and gently start to de-armor your genitals and around your genitals, which is different to receiving a tantric massage, but related. Learning to massage and de-armor my own lingam, opposed to masturbating, was a pivotal moment in my practice. At this time in my life, I was exploring shadow work to better understand myself, and working with different tantric practitioners and attending weekend intro workshops as much as I could afford to manage the cleansing process that my body kept going through. As my level of consciousness would increase, so would my shadow and all the unhealed aspects of myself. My journey with Tantra and Kundalini had gradually restarted several years prior, and at this point I was 80% raw vegan, meditating twice most days, and had to stop attending yoga classes as my body would just convulse as it tried to clear trauma. In my practices, I would notice my shadows and traumas resurface. The amount of power I found in my body through sexual de-armoring, through transforming sexual trauma in the midst of an active Kundalini, or better said, in the midst of my body actively cleansing itself to make room for Kundalini to rise, led me deeper into combining tantric and yogic practices with more Western approaches to breath and somatic work to present today how self-de-armoring is taught in Kundalini bodywork. I'd suggest that you start with self-de-armoring before self-pleasuring, and if you can, try to move through several rounds with yourself, moving from pain to sensuality over and over again until you eventually move into a sexual or spiritual experience, deepening on where you are at. The process of sexual de-armoring outside of the body is exactly the same as de-armoring any other part of the body. Internal self-de-armoring takes more practice and knowledge than there is space for in this course. But by basically combining tantric massage techniques with the de-armoring ones that you have already learnt, plus some finer bodywork points, you are free and encouraged to explore and learn from your body, your mystery school.